Welcome to the January 10th, 2019 edition of the BitcoinNews.com Daily Podcast, where we do an in-depth, deep dive market analysis every day and integrate the biggest stories of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and blockchain. This is your host, Space Marine, live from space. And from my point of view in space, it does not look that good right now for the crypto market. It's very bloody, very nuclear. Bitcoin has fallen. So there was a short squeeze on January 6th because Bitfinex said they were going to close for like a day to migrate their servers, and that caused some short sellers to close their positions, which involves buying Bitcoin. The price of Bitcoin started going up, and other short sellers bought Bitcoin to cover their positions and get out. So Bitcoin spiked from like 3,800 to 4,100 practically on Bitstamp. And that was the first time in January that Bitcoin went above that $3,900 resistance level. And this $3,900 level is created probably by Chicago Mercantile Exchange Bitcoin futures traders. This was the level. $3,900 was the price of Bitcoin right after the contracts expired for December. And it's probably where they took out their positions. Based on the data, it's pretty obvious they went short for the month, which is bad news for Bitcoin. So there was 1, 2, 3 times that Bitcoin got stuck at 3,900 and went down, and then that short squeeze happened on January 6th and it went above 3,900 and it tried to rally. There was a bit of a rally on January 8th, but it was totally stomped out. Bitcoin went above 4,100 very briefly. The rally was stomped out. And then today, overnight and into this morning, right now it's around noon Eastern United States time, Bitcoin has totally crashed. It was at 4,020 on Bitstamp, and then the first crash, it went down to 3,775 about. The second crash, now it went all the way down to 3,500 for a second, and now it's around 3,615 at this exact moment. So it's stabilizing near the $3,600 level, but who knows what stable means today. Like literally, this last crash occurred an hour ago, and who knows if more of that's coming. But basically, Bitcoin has gone down below that $3,900 level that is probably demarcated by CME Bitcoin futures traders going short. And they have influence over the market. Data shows that the CME contract expirations for Bitcoin controls the Bitcoin market in a way. And this is because they're run on the Globex futures. And Globex is the same people that does the futures for the gold market, which is a $10 trillion market. And they totally control the gold price by printing paper gold. They are printing lots of paper Bitcoin, and they have other ways of manipulating the market. Globex is a master manipulator for the markets. They can make it go which way they want for gold, which is $10 trillion. Bitcoin is like less than $100 billion market. Right now, Bitcoin's market cap $64 billion. It's like shooting fish in a barrel for Globex. And so it really sucks that Bitcoin has been totally manipulated and wrecked. The market has been wrecked by CME and Globex. But at the same time, it's kind of cool that it's easier to forecast now. It's a lot easier to forecast Bitcoin's price. You can kind of pay attention to the price of Bitcoin right after the contract expires, which is the price of Bitcoin, where new positions are being taken out for the month. And then you can watch for a few days and see, is this a resistance level or is this a support level? If it looks like a support level and Bitcoin's going up off that level, then it's probably a long month. And long means they're betting it's going to go up. If it's a resistance level and Bitcoin can't get above that level, then it's going to be a short month, which means they bet on it going down. So it looks like definitely a short month. Bitcoin is now $300 below that resistance level of $3,900. It's near $3,600. And Bitcoin is not even the worst of the day. There's a lot of cryptocurrencies doing worse than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's down around 10%, maybe like 9% now, according to CoinMarketCap. It's more like 10%, even 11% at the worst of the fall, like an hour ago. Ripple is down 11%. Ripple's sliding downwards. By the way, the total crypto market cap's $122 billion now. $16.5 billion was liquidated and slashed from the cap in the past day due to this crash. So $62.5 billion was lost out of the crypto market, and now the market cap's only $122 billion for all of those cryptos combined, all 2,000 cryptos listed on CoinMarketCap. And every crypto's down. Literally, I'm scrolling down the list. Let me see if I can find some that are up. The only ones that are up are stablecoins. They're up a little bit because the demand for stablecoins went up because of trading. But stablecoins are supposed to be $1, so it doesn't count. Literally, nothing is up today. It's all red. Really, really red. Alright, so major cryptocurrencies. Ripple is down 11%. And Ethereum went down 16% now today. It's at $127. Big loss. It was sitting around $150 last night. and now it's 127. The market cap for Ethereum has declined to $13.3 billion. Ripple went down less. So Ripple's down 11%, Ethereum's down 16%. So Ripple has taken that number 2 spot back from Ethereum. They've been kind of flip-flopping over the long term recently. And so Ethereum was number 2 for a while, but now Ripple has taken it back. This is not a good sign. Ethereum's having a hard fork, Constantinople hard fork, in like less than a week now. And now the market's not doing good overall. And the fork was probably going to cause some tension because they're slashing the block rewards from 3 Ether to 2 Ether. And they're going to ban... Well, they're going to make it so ASIC miners don't make enough money. They're going to like change the algorithm to make it so ASIC miners make very little. And they're doing this with Prog POW. It's a direct attack on the ASIC miners, which is most of the Ethereum mining power. So the miners have a lot to complain about. Like, they're already Ethereum's price is down like 90% in the past year. It was at $1,400 at its peak, and now it's like $127. So it's way down. A lot of miners already like got forced out of the market. The ones that are left are really devoted to Ethereum, but now they're getting kicked, and the salt's in the wound and all that. And so we'll see what happens. It's not good that the overall market is declining right now, right before this fork, which might already cause problems for Ethereum. It could be quite a bad week for Ethereum. And there's a small chance maybe the fork will be good, but no, I really don't think so. I think this fork's going to be bad for the market, at least in the short term. Maybe long term it'll be good. We'll find out. But basically what Ethereum is doing, the developers want to get rid of the miners. They're very clear on that. They said we're transitioning from proof of work to proof of stake. Proof of work is more decentralized because the miners vote on the upgrades pretty much, theoretically. Proof of stake could also be decentralized because then people actually stake their coins to vote on things. But so few people stake the coins from what I've seen. Like EOS had a staking to vote for block producers. Barely anyone voted. In fact, they couldn't even launch the chain for like a week or two because so few people voted. They need like 10% of votes to like launch the chain and launch the block producers, but they couldn't even get that. So yeah, proof of stake voting is not really decentralized because the people that are voting are mostly the people that are trying to change things, and everyone else doesn't really care or has time for it. Because when you stake your coins actually for voting, you can't use them. You can't use them as a currency. You can't like sell them. You can't transfer them. So it's not optimal. With proof of work, there's no such thing as coins being locked up for voting. So Ethereum might get more centralized for sure. That could cause long-term problems. And it's not going to be centralized yet. It's going to still be proof of work decentralized after the Constantinople fork, but the miners, they could, at the worst case scenario, they could make a new version of Ethereum that's favorable for miners. And that would cause a Bitcoin Cash-esque war like we saw in November 2018. All right, Bitcoin Cash down 16%. Bitcoin Cash was over $600 before their fork, just to show that forks are not a good thing. Yeah, they were over $600 before the fork, and now they're at $135. And they might go below 100 at this rate again. They were already below 100 once. Bitcoin SV's the little evil brother, cousin, or whatever you want to call it, of Bitcoin Cash, and Bitcoin SV is down 12%. It's at $77. Add them together, it's like about $200 total, compared to like over $600 before the fork. It was not good for the Bitcoin Cash world, that fork. EOS is down 16%. EOS had a $5 billion ICO, and now the total EOS value is $2.2 billion market cap. And yeah, it's been a loss for a lot of people. I'm sure some people won on that, but some people lost. Because EOS went up above that $5 billion market cap for a while, but then it crashed. So maybe a lot of people cashed out, but someone definitely lost here. And Stellar is down 12%. Like I'm saying, it's not just like a down day for every crypto. It's like every single major crypto is down more than 10%. This is one of the bloodiest days we've seen since mid-December when Bitcoin hit 3,100. Bitcoin has been rising since then. It went from 3,100 to like over 4,000, but now it's going back down quickly. And the whole crypto market's going with it. So Stellar's down 12%. Very similar to how far Ripple's down. And then Litecoin had a big rally this past month. Litecoin was up like 75% in the past month. But that rally is done. It's down 15% today, $33. The market cap has just dropped below $2 billion by a hair. Tether, it looks like some people actually bought some Tether. The market cap for Tether is up to $1.95 billion. So Tether's market cap used to be $2.8 billion, which is like the circulation. But then what happened is that they had a banking problem. Like they lost their bank, and $1 billion of Tether was taken out of circulation because people panicked and took it out, rightfully so. But now they seem to be recovering and started to gain a little bit. But at the same time, USD coin is really gaining. But every day I look, USD coin is going up the ranks. It's now number 19 with a $347 million market cap, which is like their circulating supply pretty much. So each one's worth $1. It's probably more around like 340 million because there's a little discrepancy because right now it's $1.01. But so basically, USD coin is gaining circulation every day, and it seems to be like, I think long term, eventually, it could probably overtake Tether because USD coin's from Circle and Coinbase, which is like some of the biggest names in the United States. And I think it's the one that people in the United States would choose because Circle and Coinbase are very trusted. Tether is not that trusted anymore after what happened because the price of Tether actually crashed below 90 cents. They've been proven that if they lose their bank account, they're not going to be that stable. USD coin will probably never, ever lose their bank account, while Tether could lose their bank account. Tether is banking in the Bahamas at Deltec Bank, which is not the most stable situation. Alright, so going down the list further, Tron is down 13%. So Tron had a huge rally. It was up 165% on the month. That rally is over. It's really going down. So it was almost like a pump. And I think this downward movement on the crypto market today could cause a dump. So I think it's a pump and dump for Tron. I didn't see anything really fundamental happening to cause Tron to go up besides people were like, oh, it's going up and nothing else is, so let's pump it. You know, this could be real bad news for Tron. Tron's at $1.6 billion market cap right now, which is a lot better than it was before this month, but it could get bad. We'll see. Bitcoin SV, already said it's down 12%. Cardano down 16%. IOTA down 16%. IOTA is the number one directed to cyclic graph coin. Binance coin down 12%. Monero down 60%. The number one privacy coin down 16%, $44. Dash is doing awful, down 16%, $72. Neo, which is like the Asian Ethereum, is down 17%. There's literally nothing that really escaped this. Ethereum Classic, which recently had a 51% attack, and then the market stabilized, which didn't make sense. Like, clearly there's someone out there that can 51% attack Ethereum, and they're doing it for profit. They got $1.1 million from their 51% double spend attack on Ethereum Classic, and then for some reason Ethereum Classic like stopped declining. Well, it's down. It went down 10% when the attack happened, and now it's down 14% today. So like literally the market movement today exceeds the amount that Ethereum Classic went down from like their blockchain being shown to be compromised because someone owns more. Like an attacker owns enough hashing power to ruin the Ethereum Classic blockchain and make it not immutable. You could reverse transactions. That attacker could. And it kind of shows a disconnect from fundamentals and reality that a price crash would cause more of a crash than like a 51% double spend attack. And there was like 15 separate 51% attacks on Ethereum Classic at least. There might have been more by now. And yeah, Dogecoin is resilient. Dogecoin is only down 7%. And Dogecoin often shows resilience in the bear market crashes because first off, it has a strong community. Second off, it's not used for speculation. It's not like a common choice for speculators. And then we got Burst Coins only down 5%. So Dogecoin and Burst Coin have strong communities and are not a common choice for speculators. So they don't go up as much, but they don't go down as much. Like they actually go up with the market when the market goes up, but they don't go down as much when the market goes down like this. So yeah, that's the market wrap up for today. It's really bad. Literally an hour ago, it went from like bad to like bloody. So that's all we have for you today on this January 10th, 2019 edition of the BitcoinNews.com Daily Podcast. We'll keep you updated on this market situation. It looks like the bottom's not in yet. We're going to have to see a consistent long-term rally to declare that the crypto bottom is in. It's definitely not in yet. It could retest that $3,100 low that we saw mid-December. That's possible. Alright, and go to BitcoinNews.com 24/7 for the full spectrum of Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency analysis. This is your host, Space Marine, signing out, staying up here in space away from that bloody crypto market. Adios, amigos.